Welcome in, everybody. What's going on? Good to see everybody here. It's been so long since we've done it. Has it? Or was it last week that we doing?
Wait, you said that last time. Hold on, let me check.
Anyway.
No, last time was Thanksgiving. So,
Yeah,
and you might have went live. I don't think anyone
Oh,
watched.
there you go.
Did.
Well, as you can see by not only his face, but also the title, we have Mr. Justin in here. I am, first of all, thank you for being here, Justin.
Absolutely. Great to be
excited
hanging out with you guys today.
Yeah, and we're going to get into some good stuff. Hopefully, Rod and I did our best to put our two brains together, come up with some questions for you. So excited for that. Yeah. Before we jump into it, though, per the usual, we got to get some wins in the comments. So if you had something good that happened in your business this week, this month, maybe you're on pace for a record year. I know we still got 26 days or so, but drop it in the comments. We got to read some of those, and then we'll jump into questions with Justin. As you saw by the title, Justin built a great real estate media business based in Nashville. Scaled it from just starting as we all do at $0 to making some initial revenue. I think he was averaging like $3K his first few months in business. Scaled up, hit the 6-figure mark, continued to grow, hit the half 7-figure mark, and added a little bit since then. And so, yeah, I mean, as has anybody that's built a business like he has, he's learned a lot, has a lot to share, a lot that, we all could learn from when we were first starting, especially. And so I'm excited to chat with him. But all right, let's see. We got some wins in here. That's a solid first month, 1675. Very nice. Second month, 8K. Very solid second month.
Marco, come on now. Very nice.
Congrats.
Dang.
That's crazy.
Wish I did that my second month.
Dude, I did that about my second year.
Man.
Oh my goodness. Let's see. Locked in my first client this week. He said he has multiple listings ready for me next year. Noah, congrats. There's nothing quite like the first one, both from like an excitement and a fear standpoint, honestly. So good luck. Good luck on your first shoots. For everybody that's like about to do their first shoot or thinking about it, or like it's scheduled already, if you're not a little bit knees weak going up to the shoot, you're not normal. So maybe that helps, maybe it doesn't. All right,
I think my first shoot I did with like a 24 to 70 millimeter lens. That was a really bad idea. But that was all I had, so worked out.
The agent's like, hey, these aren't quite wide enough. You're like, it's the widest it goes.
I mean, luckily they had cell phone photos and I really backed myself into the corner, so it worked out. But
well, let's jump into it. Yeah, I guess starting with a question that's more so with the end in mind for you, Justin. Like, you scaled to 50K a month plus. What's your favorite part about owning a business at your current size business? Like, what do you really enjoy about the business right now?
Yeah, I mean, having a team is super fun to have. Just because whenever you're a solo operator, it's you, yourself, and you, whatever it is. So actually, like, having people to talk to on a daily basis is really fun there.
Yeah.
Where the business is now, it's given me, I mean, pros and cons to it. I mean, it's given me like some freedom, definitely. Like, for instance, my wife and I got a notification from our daughter's daycare on Monday that they were closed on Friday for like a teacher in service day. And we had no idea about it. Like they gave us a list like the beginning of the year and had everything, like all the dates on there. And we promised ourselves that date was not on there, but we were like, oh, okay, got it. So I was like, oh, that's easy. Like, guess I'm hanging out with my 3-year-old like all day on Friday. And I don't have to necessarily like go to my boss and be like, hey, so I just saw this and I kind of need like half a day or like the entire day off now. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's very true. I think you start to get that, like you said, when you bring in a team. What's your team look like right now in terms of how many photographers, VAs, that kind of thing?
Yeah, so I've got 5 photographers, and then I've got 2 VAs, and then we just brought on a full-time, we're calling her like ops manager / client success manager, but effectively like an admin.
Okay. So yeah, so there's you, which we'll talk about what you do in a second. And then kind of in order, you have the ops manager who manages the photographers and the VA and kind of is the point of contact between them and your clients. Is that kind of how you have it set up?
Yeah, eventually it will be. She just started on Monday, but
Gotcha.
Yes, that's exactly how it's gonna roll for sure.
I know we've talked about that role, but like that's such an exciting role from like not that I don't want to like glorify like freedom too much as a business owner, but because there's a lot that goes into having a business. That is one of those things that like unlocks the next level of you can kind of like, it's just nice to separate yourself a little bit. Like you put all this time into building the business, and now you get to like slowly kind of ease off in terms of daily ops, which is nice.
Yeah, totally.
What do you, oh, sorry, go for it.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, and then right after her, it would be photographers and then VAs.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. And do you, I would imagine you're trying not to shoot by default anymore. You probably only go out when someone calls in or something happens.
You haven't in the last 2 months, right?
Yeah, I think October 9th was the last time I did a photo shoot. And that was literally because one of like my top employees like messaged me like the day before on like October 8th and was like, hey, I'm really sorry to do this to you. I'm going through some health stuff right now. Like I need to kind of take some time away. And then like I called him up and like we talked about it and like it's great. Like he's doing great now and you know, pretty much back to full capacity. But it was like, okay, cool. So I was able to offload a bunch of shoots of his for like the coming days to other photographers, which was amazing. Yeah. But by the same token, it was like there was one that just couldn't happen. So I was like,
with the orphan shoot.
I'm like, crap. Looks like I've got to do it. So but it was great.
It is funny how I think like, you know, you first start out your company, right? And you're like excited, you want to do shoots. And then you get into this phase where you start to get like a little bit less excited. And then you get into a phase where you're really like, I could care less to ever shoot again. And I feel like that phase between I'm shooting way too much and I never shoot actually happens pretty fast a lot of the time. It's like a weird transition where you're just like, oh, all of a sudden I only shoot when something crazy happens. Which kind of goes to like the question now, I guess. What do you, you know, your goal is to, we'll talk about your goal and I know you still want to scale, but like assuming that's your goal, you're doing things now to push the business forward. You're not just, you know, relaxing, which is nothing wrong with relaxing, but what does that look like for you? Like what are your focuses right now in daily life?
My main focuses are sales and then also just like client relations. So like really having good touch points with those clients that are doing like 10, 15, 20 plus shoots with us a year, making sure that they're like super happy and good to go. But then also kind of connecting with like brand new clients who don't really know us. Maybe it's their first time working with us, just so like they kind of understand like our systems and whatnot. And then just making sure that like we don't lose them out of the funnel to someone else who does that. And then on the sales side, it's just cold calls and then doing brokerage presentations, trying to put together like team presentations, broker deals, team deals, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, just keeping the machine running and, you know, not losing clients and then working to gain new ones.
Yeah, exactly. And part of like our admin role is also going to be, you know, making sure that like we don't lose existing clients too.
Yeah, keeping that like communication speed up and just everything locked down. What would you say? You know, you're obviously you're working with Todd right now in our Orbit program, Todd and his team. What do you think the difference between like a business where yours is and one doing, you know, like Todd's $300,000 or $400,000 a month? Like what have you learned in terms of like things you need to work on in your business, do you think?
Yeah, I was actually just talking with one of my coaches yesterday and it's, I've been kind of dialing like A to Z. Like I'll just go to like a brokerage website and boom, just like hit all of their agents. And so like a couple of my coaches, they actually put together like a whole, like a scoreboard, like in Notion for me. And one of the things was like, we know exactly who, are like the top people that like we want to go after are. And I was like, how do I find that information? So it's like really like having like a real kind of like clear cut goal in mind and being like, okay, like these are like the top 50, these are like the top 100 agents and teams like we really like need to put time and energy into. And then the rest, it can kind of be like on a back burner effectively. So
yeah, and they'll come from referrals or just people seeing the top clients working with you. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it is like, you know, when you're first starting, you kind of have to go for everybody, right? Like you go for the newer agents because also, and for everybody here, the context of that question is important, right? Like Justin already has an established business. People know his name. They've all heard of his company at some point or another, right? And he has a team of photographers. So the type of client acquisition that he does is probably going to look a little different from you than if you're first starting. And people really get that wrong in a way that hurts their business because what they'll do is, you know, you'll say that. And like, that's what we do at Norman and Young too. That's the way we have to do it because we have, there's benefits that we have being a bigger business and there's benefits that someone just starting has, right? But the benefit just starting that you don't have is nobody knows who you are. And so I see what you guys are laughing.
Yeah, I've gotten that a few times. That's great. Anyway, I love
it. There's data there somewhere, I imagine.
There is.
If you go for only the top producers as someone just starting, you're probably not going to have a lot of luck because they're not going to take a swing with somebody who's not proven most of the time. But when your business starts to grow, like Justin's got to go, what's the highest leverage thing for me, right? He's got a big team he needs to feed. And so like those agents, he now has the ability to unlock, which is kind of cool. So there's kind of like, there's different paths, right? As you grow your business where you are now, is like, you can kind of do like operational leading or sales leading. Do you like the sales side more? Is that what makes you do it? Or do you just like know you need to do it?
I was just talking with like my family like a week ago, Thanksgiving, go figure, week ago. Like my dad and I are so much alike. So like my dad owned his business for 30 something years and like just sold it. And he and my mom were both like, yeah, your dad's really good at just like coming up with this great idea and like pitching it and like getting it going and then just like drops it. And I'm like, that's exactly what I do. So I'm like, man, I'll have like a great phone call with like a potential new client. And I'm like, got these follow-up actions. Like I need to send him this and that. And then it's like out in one ear, out the other. I need to go find like the next person to call and like get in front of, because like I'm so hyped on it. So yeah, it's very much like I've found my niche, like really in like that sales role and everything. It's still scary like to do those sales calls, but like for me, it's worth it. I've learned, I mean, granted, she's only been on the job for 4.5 days. But like this new admin, she made like a 54-page SOP for me, like since Monday. So I'm like, that's really like the role that I needed to hire. Originally I was thinking like kind of like a split like admin and sales role, but I'm like, okay, I really want to do the sales here. So like I need that person like 100% ops admin kind of stuff, and I need to be the one doing the sales.
Yeah. I think it's just you don't have to be like a sales focused founder, but I think that those who are willing to do that just do grow faster. I mean, it is, the primary. So, until you get to like the 150 or 200K a month mark, is I think kind of what Todd's guidance is too, is like, that's when you bring in more of a sales team and you focus your energy to leading that team. So, going back to when your business was doing 15K a month, so like 200K a year, so a third the size that it is now. What would your advice be to like someone that's at that stage right now that looks at your business and they're like, man, I want to get to 50K. Like that would be crazy to hit a 50K month.
Oh yeah. There's a lot that I should have done different. So like backtracking even further, I don't think I actually even brought someone on until I myself did like 30K in 1 month. And I'm talking like I was doing all the scheduling, all the deliveries, like everything. I think I was even doing like some video editing. Like it was dumb, but my profit margin was incredible. It was so hard to let go of that. But yeah, I mean, if you're doing like, if I were doing back in like doing 15K a month, like if I didn't have a VA, if I didn't have Quo, formerly Open Phone, and a photographer, I would just go through and do that right away. Probably like get a VA and Quo like literally at the same time. And then hire that photographer pretty quick. If I even had the money for it, I would hire 2 photographers. Because I feel like really like once that second photographer hire really happens, like I feel like that's like really where like my life like kind of opened up, and it was like, okay, cool. I've got a lot more capacity now to like go out, find new leads, and like kind of change the back end of the business.
Yeah, that's really good advice. It's hard to take when you're there in the moment doing that too, because you're like, you finally got to the point where you're like making some good money. The margins, like you said, are super high. Even I mean, 15K especially, but you're doing that at 30. I can understand why you don't want to give that up.
Yeah,
but it is like that is the next step, right? And I think it's so you kind of picture your business as like I don't know. You just think of your business in a way that doesn't serve the future version of your business, where you feel like you just got to like keep a hold of what you have, and it's like there's so much further out there that your business can go if you take the next step. But it's hard. I know you said this already, but how it felt to me is kind of the same. It's like, I felt like I was taking a step back, and I know there's a saying like 1 step back, 3 steps forward or whatever. You still have to take a step backward, and that does not feel good in the moment. And so I think just someone like, I really needed someone to punch me in the face, honestly, and be like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it was, like even this year, like, I mean, this is like our biggest year ever, but like I think like our net profit is going to be about the same as what it was last year, maybe even like a little bit lower. But I mean, within 1 year time span, we've added like 5 photographer gear kits. We've added on 2 VAs. And like, I'm actually like going through like our P&L and I'm like asking my bookkeeper, I was like, hey, what is this for? And they're like, oh, that's your VAs. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm spending like around 18 grand ish a year on VAs. Got it. Like, cool.
Yeah. It's hard. And I think that's what keeps a lot of people's business small too. Because the analogy I always think about is like, if you're building a building, right, there's a much different level of foundation required for like a 50-story building than there is a 1-story house. Right. And so it's like in the 50-story building, the foundation costs a lot more. And so I think that's kind of the phase that you've been in. It's like you did that this year, right? Now you get to take advantage of that next year. And that's always the mentality that I think that if someone plateaus, and, we talk to a lot of people who, maybe it's on the front end, they're just kind of curious about coaching. They're like, oh, I've been doing 15K a month for 4 years and like really want to grow. It's like, well, what are they not doing that they need to do? Right. It's that it's those small investments, because you don't have to hire 5 photographers at once, but it's like those small investments that if you don't make them, it's just like not making any investment, right? You don't get the future payoff. So kind of on a similar vein, I know it's been a minute, so to speak, since you started, but like, we have a lot of people. I mean, there's 70 live right now. A couple hundred at least will watch this after. A good chunk of them have not done their first shoot yet. And I would say whether they call it fear or not, they're scared of doing that for some reason. And it feels like a very justifiable fear. So like, what is your advice to them when it comes to like taking a leap, starting their own business, that kind of thing?
Oh man, it kind of goes a handful of different ways. I think one of it is like, you just got to have confidence and like believe in yourself, which can be really tough to do. Like, especially if, just different upbringing, backgrounds, whatever, like if no one's really like instilled that kind of confidence in you, like that's gotta be really tough. That's gotta really blow. There's that. I mean, as far as immediately I go out to sales and I'm like, okay, like what do you do to like get that first client to like even just let you do that first free shoot? And I'm like, I go back to, oh man, it's like one of the very, like towards the end of the movie 8 Mile with Eminem and everything, like he gets on the stage in like that final rap battle. And like, he literally just like, he rips himself apart, like to his opponent. He's like, literally is like, these are all my flaws. This is what it is. Like, good luck now kind of thing. And it's like, don't sell yourself short to like a potential client, but it's like, be upfront. It's like, hey, like this is my first shoot. I'm just learning. Like, I would love to like take this opportunity to like try and like grow and like would really appreciate it. But like, I mean, like if people like know that like you're brand new to it, like they're going to kind of have a slightly different lens for it. And also like, go with those agents, look for those agents, exactly like what you were saying. Don't go for the ones that are doing like literally 100 listings a year. Like that's go for the one that's like maybe like 2 or 3 listings a year who would really like a free shoot. Like that's a great one to do it.
Yeah. Oh, and those people go to bat for you, like you said. The bigger point that you made too, which is really good, and I just want to say it again, is like, don't pretend to be something you're not when you're first starting your business. It's so tempting to start saying we and like trying to make it seem like you've been doing this forever, because that's you're like trying to project capability and confidence. But the problem is when you do that, you miss connection, and connection is what builds the business, right? Like, sure, like Justin said, you're gonna have some agents don't want to use you because they don't want to mess with somebody new. You're also going to have a bunch of agents that are new. They're scared if they're going to make it in the business, and they want to, they want connections too. They understand what you're feeling. And so I think just, Justin hinted at this too, but it's like once you do your first shoot, you don't really need as much motivation to continue. You're kind of like doing it already. It's not like, oh man, I need motivation to go get paid to do this shoot. Like you don't need motivation. It's like the point of your first shoot is where you just need so much less motivation after that. And the hard part, it's interesting, like those people are hanging out in the hardest part of the business, like before you started it phase, which I think is
honestly too, it's like, if it's literally just like the fear of like doing the shoot itself, like, I mean, there's a couple ways to do that too. Obviously practice on your own house, like as many times as possible, like dial, like one of the training things that we do with like new photographers is like, we'll give them the camera first and be like, here are the exact settings. Like, we're going to go through this. And then like, once they're like getting really good at it, give me your camera. And then I go in through like the different menu systems and mess up everything. I'm like, fix it and figure it out. If you can't figure it out, let me know. Like, let's learn together and like, we'll help each other. So it's like, you can kind of help train yourself that way. Also, like whenever you're going on Zillow, I think I even hit up like a bunch of, like, I just went on Zillow and found like long-term rentals and like just hit up like property managers and rental owners and was like, hey, like I literally have no idea what I'm doing. Would love to try to help you out here. Like, here it is. So it's like, again, set that bar super low.
What traits that you think you have or were instilled in you as you grew up, do you think have really helped your business?
Man, there's kind of two sides to that question. I think that we can kind of go down. I think wanting to really grow and scale and like have a legitimate business, just like that entrepreneurial side. Like, knowing that like nothing is ever going to be handed to you in it. Like you just have to go out and ask for it. Like literally sales is just like asking for business and trying to provide value to people. Like that's all we're doing here. So like just kind of having that confidence to like go out and just like make that ask and kind of see what happens and learn from it and grow. I think I don't even know where I was going to go on the other side with it, but
one side was good enough for me.
But so. I think like the other side, like, of like just like kind of like looking at the business though is like kind of like know exactly kind of like what you want, and like what you want starting out might be different than like 5 years from now. Because like whenever I first was starting out, it was like, okay, this is like very artistic form. I'm gonna really try to be in like all these like high-end publication magazines. And like as the time went on, I was like, I'm really like motivated by money. Like I don't hate to say it. Like
turns out we need it.
It turns out we need it. I really like having money. I really like finding ways to make money and have money make money for itself. So it was like, okay, like this is less to me like art form and more business. So it really like flipped and was like, okay, we really need to be like thinking business forward here. Let's start making smart business decisions in what we do. So, but by the same token, like if you want to look at it from an art form and be like solo and just have like a really sick job,
I
mean, you can make great money just doing 8 to 10K, 10K a month by yourself and like
pretty
live
chill
a great
lifestyle
life
too. I mean, you're sort of always on with agents, but like, I
mean, even if you hire a VA, it like 8 to 10K a month, like it's gonna be awesome.
It's not like scaling is not the only path, right? I think knowing yourself is important. And like you said, that changes. We talk to so many people that are like, I don't really want to scale. I just want to do this myself. And then they get the first taste of it and they're like, all right, I'm scaling. And it's like, that's fine. That's the great part about owning a business. You get to decide at every point what's right for you. What would you say is, man, I was like, while you were talking, I was trying to think how I'd answer this question, because I hate asking people a question that is like too hard to think through, but like, I'm going to do it anyway to you. Maybe it isn't hard for you. What do you think is a trait that hurts your business a lot?
Oh man, it's I can't think of like one word, but it's probably just trying to figure it out like from the get-go. Maybe like trying to be like perfect with it. Like I mean, this is like a low-level task that eventually my admin is going to do. I was like revamping like some pricing and putting like pricing together for like a team that we just signed like a team deal with this week. And I was like trying to figure out like how it's all going to work on the order form. And like, I've literally been racking my brain with this for like the past like couple of days. And literally today, like it's disgusting here in Nashville. Like, it is so gross. And I was like, I'm just going to hunker in and just like start hacking it out. And then at least we're going to get them something halfway decent so that they can start placing orders on this order form.
Just get something in place.
It's kind of like that perfection is like, done is better than perfect. Kind of saying. So I think that's a kind of a big trait.
Yeah, I can see that. Makes it, I think a lot of people, whether they say it or not, have some of that in their business. I guess that's more one of those things that's like, we all have it, but to what extent? Some people are paralyzed by it. Some people should probably think about it a little bit more. I can be like, mine is, I would say sometimes I can be hasty to do something. I'm pretty just like, all right, let's get it done. But sometimes like I get the wrong thing done. And that's genuinely a problem, because I think there's like too much strategizing, not good. No strategizing, not good either. So when you think about your business, and we'll do, this will kind of be like the last question, and we'll jump into some Q&A if you got like 10 more minutes or something.
Oh, as much time. Yeah.
Cool. We all have goals for our business, and there's always like, I think maybe it's just me, but I think probably it's the case for everybody. You kind of think of a number in your business that you want to hit more than any other number. Like, sure, you want to get to 250K. Like, is that the number? Is it 100K a month? Like, what's that thing you're like, man, I just want to get there, like the next goalpost?
So like next year, our revenue goal, I just think of like revenue as a whole for the year. So I'm looking, I want us to do minimum like 750K.
Okay.
And then the year after that, I'd like us to do $1 million.
Okay.
gross revenue.
You kind of have like you have a more mapped out answer than a lot of people, which I think is cool.
Oh, okay, great.
People are like, they're doing 8K a month. They're like 50. I'm like, awesome, you know?
Are you gonna get? Yeah, and like the reason like I kind of like answer it that way too is like I've kind of like mapped it out in my head a little bit, just because like through coaching, it's like, okay, like let's backtrack it. Like, what's your average order value? Okay, like ours is around 400.
Yep.
So I'm like, okay, to get to $1 million, I need to be doing around like 2,300, 2,500 ish shoots a year.
Yep.
And then it's like back that down. Okay, photographers can on average probably do like 3, maybe 5 shoots a day, depending on, you know, packages and like who the photographer is. And then it's like, okay, how many photographers do I need to have? Do I really want to ramp up and like really hurt myself like like figuratively, but like do I really want to have like really big headaches, or like do I want to go with this slower? Like I know like several agencies have like literally like ramped up like super fast. Me, I'd rather, like I've got a wife and 2 kids, and like I like hanging out with them a bunch, and I'd rather just not be, I mean, I'm already in the business like 24/7, but I'd rather not be like laser focused on it like 24/7 too.
Yeah, I mean, not just to, you know, blow smoke your way, so to speak, but I think that's a more thoughtful way of doing it than a lot of people do. And for everybody listening, I think that's a real, like the beautiful thing about this business is you're not waiting on some like big contract that's going to change the business that you don't know how much it's going to make. Like, you know exactly how much each client is going to pay you roughly, and you can literally do the math. Like Justin said, you want to make 100K a year. Your average order value is $400, $200, $500. Like you can literally do the math and then figure out, hey, can I do this solo? If I can't do this solo, how many photographers do I need? And it's fun. We call it like money math usually in my videos. It's like the most fun math to do, right? I mean, I don't really love math, so if there's money involved, it's interesting, at least to me. But it's cool because you can like actually plot out what your business is going to look like, which I think is pretty fun. Why do you want to grow your business? I know that's kind of a weird question. Like you're at a point where, you know, you probably could tighten up, make some more revenue. What's like, why do you want to get to those bigger months?
Yeah, I mean, really dumb answer is like, I just think it sounds really cool to be making $1 million a year. So I'm like, well, let's do that.
On its own and
like I thought of that like a couple of years ago, and I was like, I wonder if I could do this. And I'm like, oh crap, this is like an actual achievable goal. It just like, I just need to like put in the work, and here's what I need to do. Yeah. So yeah, like I want to, like, that's one reason is like, I just want to kind of have that like feather in my hat that's like, I have $1 million a year business, like this is dope. Like I in in high school, like I was never the kid that was like straight A student. Like I was, I think, a C student somewhere in there. Like we graduated, I was definitely like bottom-ish kind of part. I also didn't realize that I graduated college. Like my cousin was like I went to the University of Central Florida in Orlando, and my cousin was in like another department, like worked in another department. So I messaged her. I'm like, hey, do you know why I can't like get any classes scheduled? And she like looked at stuff, and even though like I'm in a different department, she's like, I'm pretty sure you graduated. I was like, sick, this is awesome. so like just like having that and being like, okay, like went to college, but also like didn't care too much about like higher ed and schooling. It's like, that's awesome. It's like, I now built a business that made $1 million. The other part is like 2024 was really personally difficult, just because like at that time I had a 1-year-old going on 2-year-old. My wife was always just like, I need you home more. Like you were constantly going, you're constantly like thinking and like in the business, this is not sustainable for us. So it's like, I just want to have like a much more sustainable life, like for me and for my family. And like, whenever I look back at things, it's like, yeah, my dad owned a really good business that like did amazing things for us. And like, we got to go on trips. His whole slogan was like, he did financial planning. So his whole slogan is like, do what you want, when you want, where you want, with who you want. So it's like, this is like literally the avenue for me to be able to like do whatever I want, like with the people I want. So there's that. I also literally last August, I was on a shoot. I literally fell in a hole. And I got really mad because I was like literally moving a trash can, and there was a hole. There was like literally like a rectangle that was like maybe that big, and I just wasn't looking and fell right into it and like kind of hurt myself. I'm like, this is my sign that I need to start exiting the day-to-day like shooting and like get on the back end. So I just don't want to fall in holes anymore.
Literally. That's so funny.
Might be the best of the 3 answers you gave right there.
Yeah, right.
Just prefer to stay out of them. You know? Interesting. Yeah, it makes sense too. I think that's a cool thing about, you know, there's a trap that we all can fall into, which is like, when I get to X, then life will be whatever. But there is a truth to it at different stages. Like, you know, for example, if your business is you're listening here and you're doing like 35 grand a month, that's like the teenage phase of your business that you don't want to stay in. It's like, you don't have quite enough revenue to have a team, but you're doing enough revenue where you can't relax without a team. And so it's like, you're kind of in this spot. So like, I think, and if you have a different perspective on this, feel free to share it, Justin, but there's like different points that are sensible to get your business at if you want to stop there. So like solo, 15 to 20K a month. Don't push it much past that solo. Don't stop at 8K, like, you know, 10 to 20. And then if you're going to go past 20, like, don't stop until 50 at least. Around 50, like where Justin is, you can start to bring an admin in. You're not going to make, you know, the kind of profit Justin was making doing 30K solo, but like, you can kind of have the business more run on its own. And then you have, you know, more phases above that. But it's, in my opinion, it's thoughtful to be thoughtful about which of those stages you end in. And I think that's something a lot of people mess up, because they just go to like fully max out solo, which is somewhere around where you did, Justin, you know, 25 for some people, 35, 40 in some markets. That's not a place that I don't think anybody wants to stay in.
Yeah, no.
You start hating your clients really quickly, and then you're like, what am I doing with my life right now? Like,
like, I've got a 3-year-old and now a 6-week-old. And I was telling my wife recently, I was like, man, whenever our 3-year-old was 6 weeks old, I was literally back in the field doing everything. And I had like one contract photographer, and I was so mad at like so many of my clients, and was like, I can't believe you're asking me to do this, don't you? And it's like, of course they don't know what's going on in like my personal life. And now I'm like, I'm on like a hybrid paternity, is like what my wife and I are kind of calling it. So like, I'll work, you know, 4 to 8 hours a day, just depending on the day. And but again, like tomorrow, it's like I'm pretty much taking off like the whole day to spend it with the family, because
it's so good.
Daycare's closed too. So
yeah. Well, I mean, that's the point of the business too, which is cool that you get to. It's not as glamorized as I think a lot of people expect. It's not like, oh, I'm rich now and I can do whatever I want. Like, you still have responsibility. You have responsibility to your team. You have financial responsibility, but you get to like have more choice, which I think is nice. There was a guy who I actually really respect him. He built a great business, but he said something that when he said it, I was like, that sounds terrible. I went to his house. He was a builder, is a builder still, and just an outrageous house. Like, not my style, but that thing was like a full-on castle. And he had these jet skis that were sitting in the garage, and they looked literally brand new. And I made a joke about it, and he was like, yeah, I've never taken them out. And I was like, why have you taken them out? And he goes, well, I got jet skis, but no time to use them. And I was like, note to self, maybe not the approach, right? Like, maybe a little bit more free time would be ideal. So yeah. That quote like goes in my brain a lot. And like, jet skis with no time to use them, you know?
Oh yeah. I mean, I was living large during the summer too, because I was taking days off, and like my parents, they've got a lake house up here, and we were on the e-foil like throughout, like
nothing better.
And yeah, it was great. I was living it up.
Well, let's do some Q&A here in the audience. Well, Rod, I apologize. I have not even had a second to ask Rod if he has any questions. I just let him.
You hit them all. That was good. That's what I was wondering.
Oh, thank you.
No, there's good questions in the chat. Actually, should we dive into those?
You get 4 for Mr. Justin. Let's do 5. Can you do 5, Justin?
Yeah. I mean, I've got like 20 minutes if you guys want. Whatever.
Cool. Yeah, let's rock.
All right. In that case, I don't want to answer a question that was passed, that the person might not be here in this moment to hear it. So like, y'all re-comment your questions in, so I can pick 5 of the best ones, 6 maybe, if I can push it. We'll see. But we had one from.
He's frozen. He's frozen.
Oh my gosh, he's frozen.
I'm acting like I'm frozen sometimes.
Man, wow.
In this case, when I'm reading it. All right, Jadiel in Old Vegas says, I need help. Had a meeting with a broker, big, if not the biggest in Vegas, has 600 agents. No clue how to play it and what to offer.
What would you do, Justin?
I think it kind of depends on how big your team is. Like a brokerage with 600 agents, and knowing what I know now, and like knowing how quick like I can hire and everything, I'm going in and like I'm trying to make best friends with all the agents, and then really trying to like push some form of like a brokerage deal, whether it's kind of like what Todd preaches, where it's, you know, like brokerage pays for it, or even just as something as simple as like, hey, let's us be your like preferred media partner, and like we'll get you guys a discount and everything. But I mean, like if you're solo or kind of like just starting out, I would still just like hit up as many agents as possible. Try to make friends with the broker still. I wouldn't, maybe not try to set up a broker deal right away, because you don't necessarily like want to, kind of what we were talking about earlier. It's like you set something like that up, like you're not gonna be able to service everyone. Like, let's be real, if it's just you. But like I made great relationships early on with like a couple of brokers, and like they just refer agents to us. So like brokers are a great kind of resource to like make great friends with, because they tell their agents what to do and who they recommend people to.
Yeah, and agents listen a lot of times. 600, I mean, 600 agents is a lot. Let me just do that. Let's say it's okay. So 600 agents, average, they pay you, let's say 125 a month. We'll go low, times 12. I mean, that could be 900 grand a year worth of business. 600 agents is a lot. I mean, 1,000 agents, you for sure have a 7-figure business.
Jadiel, are you in coaching?
Yeah.
Because not to plug it super hard, but it might be smart to lean into that soon with an opportunity like that. You're getting close to $1 million kind of area. So depends on your goals. That might be like,
you know, maybe Jadiel can do it solo
on that. Might be good.
You could probably do it solo, Jadiel, if you just really packed your schedule.
Seriously.
I'm just kidding. Do not do that.
I would love to make 900 grand solo, man.
900 grand, 80% profit at 900 grand. That'd be a good year.
That sounds great.
More than jet skis, but no time.
100 hours a day. That's all you got to figure out time travel somehow.
Oh, Jadiel. Rod, Jadiel's the one that, you got won the free drone.
No, you act like I don't know.
It has a second photographer, maybe a third coming up. Congrats, Jadiel.
Oh, that's awesome. That's amazing.
Oh yeah.
Jadiel's about to like
last year.
Jadiel's about to like not be doing shoots anymore.
yeah. He's gonna be doing interviews, live interviews. That's what it sounds like. All right, let's see.
That was awesome. Oh wait, yeah, sorry.
Can you guys run a video workshop in Canada? I couldn't afford a trip to Nashville. Missed the last one with James. Would love one in Canada. I can drive. We've thought about it. I don't know that we legally can host one in Canada. I have to look at the laws around that. But
are you winking? No, you didn't wink. Okay.
No. I have no idea. We are events wise coming up and about to release the schedule. We have a lot of stuff coming in 2026. That's one of our big goals on the rep team is just how many in-person events did we do last year, Rod? I know you had the numbers like today.
Oh man. Okay. Yep. Keep going and I'll find them.
We did a lot, but not a lot. So
last year, 13 in-person events, 5 big virtual events.
Cool. Yeah. So we're going to try to like double that this year.
I think so. Cool. That'd be good.
So you may be able to find one that's closer. That one you're talking about specifically was the one that Kevin hosted that he invited me to. But there'll be more events for sure. All right, let's see.
There's one about Noah's got a great question. What outreach methods work best for you in the very beginning?
Man, cold calls. Like, I kid you not. I just like, because I started my business during COVID. So like, I couldn't really do like brokerage, like drop-ins or presentations or anything. I just did cold calls and it was before I mean, Eli, tell me if I'm wrong. I don't even know if like rep like fully existed back in 2020.
It just started.
Yeah. And I think it was probably just like the online version.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So like I wasn't necessarily even like tuned in like with like anything that rep taught. And I would just literally call agents and be like, hey, I'm Justin. Hey, I was just wondering like, who do you use for photos and do you like them? Like, in specifically though, I went after, like, I did a little bit of extra research because I had the time. That's what's really cool. Like when you're first starting your business, you have so much time to do so many things. And I would just find the agents that are using like those really big, like photo companies. And I would call them specifically and be like, hey, how's it going with them? You know, are you looking for like maybe like a more local or like a more personalized option?
Yeah.
Because I think like whenever you're first starting your business, that's kind of a cool sales point is like, hey, you're getting me. Granted, looking back on it, if I knew that like I wanted to scale to like where I want to go, I don't know that I would have really leaned that hard into like, you're gonna get me like every single time. Because now I'm kind of lying.
Yeah, backing your way out of that.
Yeah, which like that's not what we sell on now. What we sell on now is like obviously like quality, but also like we can get you on schedule within like 1 to 2 days. and a couple other
playing to the strengths. You have a strength in your solo that you play to, and you like. We talk about that a lot on here, and I think you'd probably say this for your business. Like, how easily could you take a client from your own business if you were solo? Like, probably easily.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm like, I can take clients from Norman Young all day, and it's like, well, why? Right? Because everybody that's first starting thinks the bigger companies have the advantage. We have some advantages.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of disadvantages too. It's like we're trying to wrangle an army together. Meanwhile, you're the person answering the phone. You're going to shoots. You don't forget to follow your own process most of the time. And so
yeah. It's also a lot cheaper for like if it's just you, it's a lot cheaper for you to do a free shoot than it is like for me. Because I've got to pay my photographer, I've got to pay a VA, I've got to pay an admin. Plus, I've got to pay editors. Like, there's a lot more expenses that I have now compared to like someone who's just starting out.
Yeah, you got that like flexibility when you're. I almost said when you're young,
young in business.
When you're young in business, and here's what I was going to say too. So it's always like this, by the way. So Noah, when you're like scared to dial, it's not that like if I call somebody or Justin calls somebody or like we all feel that way too. We just do it anyway. But here's the reality of it. There are ways around this, right? So like we teach two primary methods. We teach the Instagram method and we teach cold calling. If you were like, Eli, I have 36 minutes to get as many clients as possible, the Instagram method's not going to work for you in that period of time, right? You could like, I guarantee you that if Justin and I set a 30-minute timer, we would have a client by the end of that. High chance, right? We couldn't do that with the Instagram method. So the Instagram method, the benefits of it are it's less scary. You can do it at 2 a.m. and it's like farming. You plant seeds. Those seeds are going to grow over time. People are going to see those messages. It's the backbone of what works in our community. So you should do it. You should also, if you're at all willing, which I understand, part of having a business, you get to do a little bit of more about what you want. So if you're like hard pass, I don't ever want to do a cold call. So many people in our community have 6-figure businesses without doing that. You just need to be honest with yourself, right? Like which one is right for me? Push yourself. But you don't want to push yourself to the point where you fall off the cliff. And so if you're like, hey, I'm either going to do a cold call or I'm either going to not do a cold call or not start the business, like, and you're like, oh, I'm just not going to start the business in that case, that's too far. So like play to your strengths, but don't exclude yourself too soon. I promise you, Justin's not like, I get to cold call today. He's like, this again. And then he does it, gets in the mood, gets a win. It's fun.
Oh yeah. There are some days where it's like, I barely talk to anyone and I just get voicemail after voicemail. I'm like, This is so dumb. Like, what is going on? Like someone else yesterday was like, we use someone like that our brokerage recommends. And it's like, well, that's painful, but okay. Like, let's just keep going and then literally like 2 or 3 calls later, it's like, oh, cool. Like someone's interested in working with us. Now we're all happy again. But yeah, it's still like exactly that question. It's like, how do you kind of get the confidence to it? It's like, I wish I could tell you. Maybe ask ChatGPT to like hype you up a little bit, like DM me or something. Like I'll try to hype you up too. But I mean, like I still get the jitters going into like whenever. Usually it's like the first like 2 or 3 calls of every single day that I have. It's like those are definitely the most clunky. But then like once you just get into this flow state and it's like you're knocking out like 20 over the course of like an hour or two. It's like, okay, this is money.
Yeah, and I think too, like you said, you have to get yourself hyped up, whatever that looks like. Maybe you go run around for a second, legit, do some jumping jacks, whatever it is. But then the other thing to keep in mind is owning a business, you're asking for something from, the world, so to speak, that a lot of people want, but few will have. And it's like, well, why do, what percentage of Americans own business, support them full time? It's low, right? Same in Canada, same anywhere. And so like, why do they get to have that, right? And, there's not to make it too fluffy, but it's like they did something that people were unwilling to do. And I'm not saying you have to do everything that most people are unwilling to do, but you're going to have to do some things that the average person is unwilling to do. And that's why you're getting something that they don't have. And so maybe it's not cold calling. Like, I got Norman Young, I don't know to what number before I made a first cold call. I think I was in the 30s a month before I ever made a cold call. So it's not like you have to, but I am, it's been a theme for like the last, I don't know, a year at REPP where we're like, we call it the outbound method because we trick you into thinking it's not cold calling, but it is just cold calling. We just call it the outbound method. So it's less scary. So like we've been pushing people on that, right? We launched Engine where we cold call for people. Like they work so well. And so that's why I think it's worth spending some time on and like trying to get you in the mood where you're just going to do it. And if you're sitting here thinking like, I'm never going to do that, I promise you will feel so good about yourself and your business will grow so fast on the other side of that. It's just like I don't know, like part of entrepreneurship is the like Justin's a different person than when he first had a 3K a month business. I'm a different person than when I had a 3K a month business. You like grow in yourself, which I think a lot of confidence in life comes from that too, which is nice. Yeah, like Chris is saying in the comments, the worst they can say is no. Maybe worse, but usually they just hang up if they're not interested, or they're like, oh, let me call you back later. And you're like, all right. No,
I feel like with calling too, like what gets a lot of people kind of caught off guard is like you just don't know like what to say, like what to follow up with. And it's like it's okay to take a pause and just think and make sure like you're listening to like what the other person is saying.
Yeah. You get more results too. I think the worst thing someone can do, and everybody tries to do this when they're first starting, they get their little chat GPT script and they're like, the person answers the phone. Hi, my name's Eli Jones and I'm with Norman & Young Real Estate Photography. And I was just wondering if I could do the free shoot for you because I have it. And they just like, don't stop. Like have a human conversation with somebody. It's funny because, and you'll probably see this in your calls too, Justin. Like sometimes when you're first starting them, you're actually the best at them because you just like stumble around and you sound like a real human being. And then they listen. The second you're like, hey, and you like whip out a script, like they just our like mind as humans like can identify a sales call like in an instant. And we just what are you gonna say, Rod?
Oh, it's just like why we on the rep team when we look at our sales team here, it's a lot of the times the ones that might have less experience with sales sound less salesy and are just good communicators. The ones with 20, 30 years sales experience sound like they do sales. And like nowadays it's just not what works. So just having that conversation is the key.
Yeah. You get that, they call it commission breath.
Yes.
Like people can tell if you're selling too much. All right, let's pick one more here.
One more. I was wondering what number. I've been worried the whole time what number you're going to say. I was hoping
anxiety is building.
How many was 3? And I was like, I'll settle for 2. And then you said 1.
I want to ask you a question, just because we were talking about coaching a little bit, and not as just like a direct plug for coaching, but just more like what. Yeah, Rod's always down. You got into Forward with us. We didn't work with you in launch. You'd already built your business. We worked with you in Forward. You're in Orbit now. Like why do you personally pay for coaching? Like, what do you do that? Like, why?
2 things. One, it's like, I whenever I was looking to get go start up with coaching and move into Forward, like I was looking at my numbers and I realized I was drastically overpaying like my contractor. And where I was, because originally, again, whenever I like hired on a contractor, I was like, oh, like they're just going to take like the extra shoots. And that way, like my clients don't go somewhere else. And like, we'll make like pennies on the dollar there. But like the majority of it's going to come from me.
Yeah.
So I had to be like, okay, like how much do I actually need to pay people? And there's so much information on the internet. It's like, you kind of need to have that like my opinion, it really pays off to like have that one-on-one, like with a coach, and then also being able to have that big like community that Rep provides. I remember like one of my coaching calls with like my first coach in Forward. I was like, by the way, like I asked like these 3 other coaches in there. I was like, I asked Eli, I asked Jared, I asked like a couple other coaches like in their calls, like what they thought about it. I was like, dude, I respect you. I really like what you're giving me. I just need some other perspective. He's like, that's what you're supposed to do, dude. Like you were supposed to take advantage of this community because you're paying for it. So I think it's just like that one-on-one coaching to like really like be able to kind of help like set up those systems and everything was what I was looking for. But then I also didn't realize that like I was really also looking for that community too.
Interesting. Yeah. I think, from obviously I'm biased, but like, I think the thing that I missed out the most on was community, because it not only helps you make decisions, but also shows you what's possible. And I just spent a lot of time thinking like this wasn't a real business, which is so weird. Like I would literally think like, oh, I'm doing this for now until I figure out what the real business I'm going to start is. Like that was the track in my head. And it was just like, I didn't know like in parallel, Todd was doing huge months already when I was over here thinking, is this a real business? What were you going to say, Rod?
How'd you know I was going to say something?
Because you just like slowly towards the microphone.
I was just going to say, I imagine at the level you're at before you jumped into coaching, it's like, you're getting to a serious level where the moves you make get pretty serious. It's just not like super great to do trial and error at that level. So I imagine a bit of it too is just confidence and movement, right? It's just being back there with the community and being around like all these people to like, pick the brain of with an idea, with something, how to handle a certain situation, all the thousands of scenarios that happen, especially when you have a team, all the scenarios that happen. just that confidence of movement to know, okay, this is the right thing, let's do it, and not be wondering, was it the right thing? And just if you stack 100 or 200 of those scenarios where you're wondering if you're doing the right thing, it's not the best spot where it ends up. So I imagine at that level, that's been helpful to just that confidence side with the movements you're making, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It was like I was always having all these questions, and it's like I could only ask my wife these questions like so many times. Because like, I mean, like at one point, like love her, obviously. Like, but like I was like, I'm thinking about like cold calling. What do you think about doing this and that? And she's like, I don't know about cold calls. But then like I get in like rep and like I get into forward and orbit, and it's like, yes, like cold call, that is like the fastest way to grow your business. And I was like, cool, how do I do that efficiently? Because it's been years since I've done it, and like I need like a little bit of blueprint there. So it's like I can only ask her questions so many times. And it's like once I like kind of was able to like get a lot of these questions answered, it's like all of a sudden I'm able to like move at speed. Like you probably don't remember this, Eli, but like back in, I think it was March or so, whenever I was like really like building everything, I had a VA who was just like randomly not showing up and everything. And literally like I hadn't heard from them, and I made the decision on like a Wednesday. Okay, like they're done. Posted something like in a car dealership while I was getting my car serviced on Wednesday. Had the next VA hired by like Thursday night, was training that new VA on Saturday morning our time. Meanwhile, also had to let that VA go. And it's like just that speed and like being able to like do that is like just kind of helped with, again, just being able to ask someone all those different questions that I was having who's like been there before. Gave me the confidence to be able to do a lot of things.
Yeah. It's interesting how I just look at my business too. And it was never the decision that I made that really held my business back or grew it. It was like how long I took to make the decision. Because sometimes like, I mean, I made plenty of bad decisions, right? But if I would have just made those faster, it would have moved the business forward, you know? And they're going, it's funny too, because when you're making a decision you've never made and you don't know how to make, more thinking doesn't help it usually. Which is interesting. Like we know that, but when you're there, it's like, it's like, what resources are you using to make that decision? And that's why like independent of rep coaching, right? Like I invest in coaches for myself for things I'm working on, because I just need someone that can actually like, that knows what that decision framework should be and like the things I should weigh versus my nonsense. So anyway. All right, Rod's one.
You promised me. You did promise one.
I know we got one more in there.
The two people had the same question, so thank you, Noah and Ja'Cory. But Ja'Cory and Noah both asked virtually the same question too, which is, what's the best way to drop the worry and the doubt, knowing it's something you're in? This is probably from like the jumping into the business from the very beginning perspective. So, what's the best way to drop the worry and the doubt, knowing it's something you're truly invested in? How do you find a way around that obstacle of that doubtful feeling? Good question.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, it's always going to be there. Like, again, like whenever I feel like this is turning into like a whole cold call, but here we are. I still have worry and doubt, like going into cold calls and like going into different presentations and like pitching brokers and whatnot. It's like, I still have all that worry and doubt. I think it's just a matter of like finding a way to kind of like either push it aside or like use it to your advantage. I mean, for me personally, again, like I've got a wife, 2 kids, I've got 2 girls. So it's like, if traditional things kind of play out, I've got 2 weddings to pay for in however many decades, whatever it is, plus colleges to pay for. So it's like, okay, like there's a lot of motivation for me right there to be able to push that worry and doubt off to the side, be like, let's get this business grown. Let's like get this money and then like start investing like this money and like making it work for us. Also, you know, between now and like them leaving for college or doing whatever, it's like, I want to be able to have that time to invest with like my kids and my wife. So it's like doing that. And then on the flip side too, I've got a full-time employee. Doesn't matter if we do 1 shoot a month or like 200 shoots a month. That full-time employee is going to get the same exact pay no matter what. And then I've also got 5 part-time W-2 photographers. If I'm not getting them enough jobs, they're going to quit and go to a different W-2, like part-time job. So, I mean, that's kind of how I figured out and motivate it. I mean, like whenever I was first starting though, it was during COVID, and I was like, I've always wanted to own a business. I got fired from my job. Great job, great company, loved them all. Didn't really like the work though, the job itself. And it was like, okay, like if I don't make this work, I'm just going to have to go back to corporate America. I'm cool with going back to corporate America, but I don't want to, or I at least need to like make a real try at it. So it's like, there's that kind of motivation behind it.
So it seems like from both angles that you mentioned, It's the fear shifting, which is the fear of not doing something outweighing the fear of doing the something. So this something in this case being jumping into real estate media. Well, the fear of not being able to pay for multiple weddings, colleges, going back to corporate America, like just the thought. So it's almost like focusing on what happens if you don't do it. And then once that overpowers the doubt and the fear of doing it, that's the light bulb moment that just makes it tick and just makes you push it to the side, like you said.
Yep.
Essentially, that's a good answer.
You know
Golly, that's a good answer.
He didn't say too, which is, I think the thing that a lot of people are looking for is he didn't say, here's how I got rid of the fear, right? Like business owner, you can't, it's just
moves around.
Yeah. And I even think of it as, some people like fear, imposter syndrome, whatever you want to call it, like the little voice that's telling you shouldn't do this. That actually, you will probably, as you build your business, for anybody who doesn't have a business, you will probably come to know that voice as the radar for what you do need to be doing. So like there's a baseline in Justin's business. There's a baseline in my business where we can cruise. We don't have that feeling. It's not that scary. We're doing our thing. The fear is like, man, should we hire that admin? Right? Is that full-time salary? I'm sure Justin wasn't like, let's do it. No thought to it. Right? He was like, what do I want? Like you get that little voice like, maybe like, who am I to do that? And then that voice becomes a guide. And so not only I think, is it a bad idea to look at it like, how do I get rid of that voice? It's like, if you're feeling scared and you're saying like you're in Ja'Cory, in your case, you said it's something you're truly invested in. How do you find the way around the obstacle of the doubtful feeling? You don't, right? You're not going to find your way around that. You're going to find yourself on the other side of it though. You're just going to have to do it anyway. Colleen says, do it scared, right? Like that's the hardest thing to do. Justin, thank you for being on here. I really appreciate your time. I know we went over a little bit, but
it's great. Love hanging out with you guys. Appreciate you.
Thank you. And I'm excited to get, I know it's not released yet, but Justin has a group call coming up. We're going to get on the books at some point in coaching. So
it's going to be fun. Can't wait. That's another reason to join coaching. Come to my group calls.
There you go.
There you go.
Well, thank you, Justin. Have a great evening.
Yeah,
and
thank you, man.
Yeah. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
See you.
Appreciate you. Oh man.
That was a good one.
That's awesome. Usually the guest stays on for about 25 to 30 minutes. So we forced him to stay here a whole hour. What if halfway through he's like, God, I really have to go?
His wife is behind the screen going like,
how do I tell him I gotta go? We just kept asking questions.
Sometimes you're along for the ride, whether you want to be or not.
It's so good.
But yeah, shout out to Justin, a great guy. I've gotten to know him. He went, he's obviously been in coaching in Forward. He's been in coaching in Orbit,
in-person events.
He's been to our yacht mastermind. Been to in-person events. He has the little ones. He wasn't in Vegas, but great guy. Built an awesome business. Just cool to see. The other cool thing about this industry is just like how many great businesses can exist in so many different markets. Like there's so many, he's in Nashville. There's so many people in Nashville crushing it. Kevin, is on here a lot. Him and Justin are technically competitors. There's enough for both of them. There's enough for tons of people. And so, I'm just grateful that, people like him are willing to jump on and share what they've learned. And, it's just cool. I think like one of the things that I love most about our community, and I will do what it takes, to keep it that way, is like people don't come on the Q&A or be willing to speak. It's not like a stroking their ego thing. Like they don't come here to say how good they are. They like come here to talk about the mistakes they made and the things that they wish they could do better. And it's just cool to see like, with Justin, with others who have come on, and we're excited to have Justin as a group call coach coming up.
So many of them too, like they see these that we've done and go, I want to be on one of these one day. And then now they're here on these things, on these interviews that we do. So a lot of you in the comments now, make that be the goal, reverse engineer that, what it's going to take to get on one of these interviews one day where we can interview you. If you don't want to be on one, don't do that goal. We're not making it.
We don't get too scared.
How cool would that be though? 6 to 12 months from now, being on one of these, talking about, what you've accomplished to inspire people all around the world. We have people from Romania up in here today. Just like, so that could be a cool goal to aim for. So
what cool time is like it's like, Justin, he started back in 2020. We had just started REPP in 2019. Justin didn't know us then. We didn't know Justin, but man, so many people will see Justin and they'll join Rep, they'll build their business, right? And then they'll be on here, like you said, Rod, and then someone will see them. It's like this cool cycle. And we're like,
it really is cool.
My big thing is like, there's so many incredible people in our Rep community that like this started out as the Eli brand. And we just every year have gotten further and further away from that. And I couldn't be more excited about that. Like, I don't want the Rep brand to be the Eli brand, right? Like that just takes away from all the people that everybody here can learn from that have grown faster than I and bigger businesses than I. And just cool to see. On that note,
speaking of building big businesses,
there's two things. So if you're doing between $8,000 and $20,000 a month, Rod, can I give you the link to do your hyperlink special? I have the link.
Send me the link
I just put it in Slack.
Yeah,
so we're doing.
I was about to say I don't have that one. I got other.
Yeah, links. I got it ready for you while you were talking a second ago.
You knew I didn't have that. How'd you?
Sometimes, listen, we work well as a team. What can I say? So we're doing a virtual event. It's free, but it's invite only. So there's an application with it, and Rod's going to put that in the chat. It's on December 11th. It's a 2-hour Zoom event, and so we're going to go through the applications. If you spam, like put in 2 words for your application, you're just not going to get an invite because again, I'm trying to the whole point of that event is a small group of people who are serious. So between 8 and 20K a month, the whole focus of that event is how to get your business to 50K a month. So I'm going to be speaking. David Lancaster, who built his business over the last 2 years with his wife, Melissa, to 50K a month plus, is going to be speaking.
In 2 years?
Yeah, about a little less than 2, I think.
That's crazy. That's pretty
good.
Fast.
Yeah, faster than I grew. Speak of good community. Yeah, he grew his business like literally 10 times as fast as me.
There's a sentence you said a long time ago about David that still rings in my head, and about David and Melissa. You're like, if I was starting and I wanted to be coached by somebody, it'd probably be people like him. To be fair, it's all of our coaches here are incredible. But that was like a big compliment you said about them as far as just the coaches here being coaches that you would trust to coach you when you were starting your business, including them too. So
he's just such a
nice compliment.
We couldn't get both of them as coaches, despite what we might desire. So we got David. That's the good news.
Oh, we only got half. Okay, that's fine. Okay.
And then also we have Tyler, Film Crystal Rivers Media Company, over 50K a month. He's going to be talking. So it's going to be like 3 talks, some Q&A on Zoom, face-to-face. It's going to be a pretty cool event. So if you want to come hang out for that, put your application in. Rod put the link. And then, on the coaching side, we'd love the chance to work with you. This is an incredible time of year to jump in because it's the slower time of year for December, right? So whether you're just starting or you already have a real estate media business, slow season is when the biggest moves are made because real estate agents are slow too. So if you're trying to get clients, no matter if you're scaled or not, right, it's like faster time of year to do it because they're going to see your messages. They have more time. They're working on vendor relationships. So we'd love to chat with you about what that could look like. We have different coaching programs. We have Launch, which is when you're first getting started. We have Forward, and then we have Orbit, all the way up to Orbit, which is you have to be doing at least $50,000 a month to be eligible for that program. So go to replaunch.com/apply. How it works is you'll fill out an application. It'll take you a few minutes. It's not like you're going to be in there for 2 hours. You don't have to write any essays. It's not like a college application. So you'll fill out that application, and then one of two things are going to happen. Depending on your answers, it's going to route you to the right person on our team. So it'll either give you the opportunity to book a call right then, or it'll say, thanks, we'll be in touch. And we believe in speed. You're not going to wait 2 days to hear from us. We're going to reach out to you really quickly, and we'll get you on with the right person. You guys can have a conversation about what coaching would look like. This isn't some like outsourced team that's just here to sell only. Like, they work for us. They are our internal team, and they're great people. They're knowledgeable about real estate media. And what they're not is I'm going to get this person in coaching at all costs, even if it's not the right move for them. And I'm going to do it today. Like, that's not the type of team we run here. We know that building a business, it's a big decision, right? And so our job on that call is to learn a little bit more about you and make sure that we can help you in the market you're in, with the business you're trying to build. And then we're going to give you as much information as we can and as you need, any questions you have. And then you get to think about whether that's the move for you. But at least you'll be thinking about it from a place of like, I know exactly what coaching would look like. I know exactly what doing it on my own would look like. And so we'd love to chat with you about that.
And you've probably already, a lot of you on might have already spoken to somebody on our team. Mm-hmm. Right? I'm going to name everybody. I'm going to name them all, Eli. It's either you spoke to Aaron or Nicole or Justin or Megan or Jake or Ryan or Cliff or Isaac or Derek or Huda or Nico. There's people
every time. Rod,
myself, maybe me. Back in
sometimes I go downstairs and I call my son by one of my dog's names.
See, you know, that's understandable, to be fair. Yeah. But if you've already spoken to somebody on our team, you're more than welcome to do the apply link if you want to go through that. But just text the person back that probably texted you about this Q&A tonight from an 817 number. It's probably one of them. Just reach out back to the person here that's reached out to you and just let them know, you know, you want to look into things. You want us to, you know, help you get creative if that's the case. Just whatever it takes to be able to see how this could look for you, whether you've spoken to us already or not spoken to us yet. Just talk to the team, let us know, and we'll help to show you what we have here for you and what it could look like for you too. Especially, I mean, a lot of people wait till January to start working on their goals for the next year. And I don't know, the ones that, you know, get a little head start always go into the year, you know, kind of competitively at a great advantage. So I think, you know, if you're thinking about next year and what you want to do next year, it's the, you know, the time is now to start working on it so we can roll right into it. So,
and on a serious note, and this is, I'm trying to say this in the least markety way possible, but every year we continue to add more and more things to coaching, and various times we'll look at that and we'll make price changes. So this is, you know, purely what is actually happening. And January 1st, all of our coaching options are going up in price. And so I'm not saying that where if it's the wrong time for you to jump in, but if you've been on the fence, at least have a chat with our team, especially if you've already talked with them about what it could look like. And they can talk through options with you. And you have some time, right? It's December 4th. So chat with them. Obviously, you know, we're a little slow down around Christmas and the end of the month. So don't wait forever, but chat with us. We'd love to talk with you. Yeah. And, you know, you've seen plenty of people on here that, you know, everybody we have on one of these calls has been in coaching, right? And so go to the case studies, find them on Instagram, ask people like, you know, one of the things that we think is really important for our continued success as a business, right? As the business that Real Estate Photographer Pro is, we got to have a, you know, as locked down and as solid of a reputation as possible. And that means we serve the people that we work with to the best of our ability. And so go ask any of them their experience with coaching, ask them your concerns. They'll be honest with you. I'm not talking about our team. They'll be honest with you as well. I'm talking about, you know, people that we've worked with. That's why we have the reviews that we do. And, you know, why we have the student wins that we do, because we believe that that's the baseline, right? Like if we could be the best marketers, the best salespeople on earth, but like if the program doesn't deliver, it's not going to last long. So that's why we're here. What is it? 6 years into REPP, and getting better every year, being able to serve at a higher level every year. Anyway,
very nice.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good rest of your night. I'm going to do the music first this time. I think we're going to do the one. It's just labeled Epic Music. So we'll see what it's called. And adios, everybody. See you later.
Bye, everybody.